Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Seneca County Board of Commissioner meeting. Today's Thursday, January 23rd. It's 10 a.m. This is our regular board session meeting, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Bustecker, short prayer, please.
Please bow your heads. Lord, we ask that you give us the strength to make the best decisions today for the people of Seneca County. We thank you for the break in the super cold weather. Also ask for special consideration for the people of the California wildfires. In your name, amen.
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 Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
Commissioner Franker,
Here.
Commissioner Bustecker,
Here.
So at this time, I'll accept the motion to approve the digital audio recording of our previous board session way back on January 16th.
So move.
Second.
Okay?
Commissioner Bustecker,
Yes.
Commissioner Franker,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Thank you. So we have a special guest here. Bill, I'll turn it over to you.
Sure.
Commissioner Franco.
I'd like to welcome the Green Springs Fire Department. They're here to talk about the grain bin safety training on March 22nd. So we have Jack King and Greg Lowell, Chief and Lieutenant.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
Come
coming
up here,
over.
talk, you can talk there, however you want to do it.
Whatever you want to do.
I'll stay right here.
Okay. Front row seat.
Yeah, so once again, my name is Jack King, Lieutenant, Green Springs Fire. We recently were invited to Clinton Township Fire Department for a grain bin rescue training. They received their tube and stuff like that. So we got to talk, and I talked to one of their captains and the rest of our department, our officers. We have officers meetings, and I'm like, hey, I think we ought to try to do this county-wide, just get everybody involved. It's been a long time since we've worked with other county entities, like other local departments and agencies and stuff, so it's good for camaraderie, fellowship, just, we don't ever get to see anybody on good standards like that. It's usually a call, it's not good, to get everybody involved, so. With the blessing of the rest of our officers and stuff, I reached out to the Ohio Fire Academy, and they do have like a traveling grain bin training center, and we needed certain areas, stipulations to have this, so I reached out to Commissioner Franker, and he allowed us to bring it on to his facility for that day. So, yeah, the rest is pretty much history. We got some invites around, invited the whole county, EMS, fires, and our local mutual aid departments from Sandusky County, like Clyde and Ballville, because that's who we'd be working with. So we reached out to them, gave them some invites. I mean, our fire department is very fortunate to have Greg as our chief, because he's had so many years of experience with agricultural incidents, the grain, the anhydrous. So he's special with us for our department for that knowledge that he has, so. But I have some invites I'd like to give you guys.
And I think there's probably not much of a road around the county you haven't traveled, spraying and all that stuff, and you have the co-op, and all the back roads and
That's
lanes and all that stuff, so that's,
Yeah, it's, the grain bin rescue is something that is much needed for everybody. Even the ones that have had it, they need to get brushed back up on it.
I believe, wasn't there an incident, was it last night with the Andersons having?
They had a silo collapse.
Collapse,
Yeah, yeah. Basically what you,
75.
million bushel.
yeah. Basically what you run into is you get a crust on the top of the grain and you don't know it. And if you walk in there and the crust lets loose, you fall down into the void. Or if you're in there and somebody throws a switch on, it starts pulling grain out, that'll pull you down too. When I worked at the co-op, I've been buried up to my waist in grain, and you can't get out of it. You can't. Luckily, I was close enough to the hole, I could put my shovel over it and just brace myself until it got down around me, so. We do have a grain tube. That was donated by Nationwide. Pioneer Seed had a lot to do with that. So we're looking forward to having this and like Jack says, getting the other departments involved. Just to kind of hang out for the day and get some good training.
You know, from my chair, I've been saying this the last couple of years, and I think I'm growing to appreciate the cooperation from one end of the county to the other end more and more and more as commissioner. And we really encourage that from the whole EMS, fire departments to dispatch, and everything in between. We continue to open up communication and communicate and try to, said that twice, but try to work together. This is awesome, really. So on March 22nd, you'll be at Commissioner Frankert's farm with this unit.
Grain trailer.
Yep, the grain trailer is
And take it
supposed to
from there.
arrive Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Those gonna get us some grain to put in there to keep warm overnight, and then in the morning we'll
Yeah.
take off. So we're gonna provide donuts, there'll be lunch provided, we'll be out of the weather, we'll be all indoors.
EMS will be there.
Yep.
Yep.
Which, that was good, and, yeah, do you have anything else to add, questions? Wanna add some more?
Good, yeah.
Another reason we're doing this too is as you drive around, you see bigger and bigger grain bins.
You do, more and
And
more.
on
bigger
farm,
ones.
Yeah. Used to just be like with Sunrise Co-op, we had big grain bins, nobody on the farm had them. Now they're getting bigger and bigger, and, some of these, what they call sweep loggers, once they get it down and run around, they got a car tire on them now to help them get around, the bins, they're so big.
Yep.
So,
That's exactly right. They're popping up kind of all over the
Yeah,
place.
yep.
Yeah. And it happens that quick. I mean, when something, like you
Yeah.
say, crust gives away and stuff on that, we've all had those calls and yeah, it's definitely, appreciate.
well,
I
this,
had one in a silo, I passed out shoveling silage one time,
oh, yeah,
and they had to come up and,
yeah,
and there was no top on the silo, that's how the fumes were.
yep,
And I was scared.
oh,
They
yeah.
got down, they got me down, I don't know how, but, yeah.
Yeah, we've had close calls, but, knock on wood, we haven't had to use the tube yet,
Yep.
so.
So unless we have anything else, anybody want to ask any more questions, want to get a picture?
Picture, yeah.
While you're here,
Yeah,
we'll help
come on up
promote,
here,
we're gonna
guys.
we're gonna help promote your event.
Okay,
Wasn't there a grain bin rescue in Iacto 4 years ago?
there was one, yeah. I know, Oak Ford has had one. I'm sorry?
Please move here for a picture.
Barb, you don't want to be in the picture? Barb, you're the boss.
No, I don't
That's
want to
really
get in pictures.
We really appreciate
So far, we're getting good feedback on it.
Tired, as always. Scooch and chip.
How's my hair?
it. Get a little greater. You've been around a
I've been
while.
primering.
All right, then you look this way, smile, keep smiling, and stay there, please.
Uh-oh. You can-
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, thank you.
See you. Thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys coming in.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, take care.
Make sure and tell your wife I said hello.
I will, thank you. Looks awesome.
Scoot through here real quick. All right.
So Dr. West is here, and is that good? Can we bring him up? I'd like to welcome our county coroner, Dr. West. Thanks for stopping in. And you gonna give us a little update?
Correct. Good morning.
Okay, welcome.
Dr. Zachary West, Seneca County Coroner, effective January 6th. I appreciate the opportunity to come before the board and to give kind of an update. Some of it I know that you might be familiar with, but then for the public at large as well as to where the office is at. Been incredibly busy since I took office. Thanks to the Seneca County Commissioners, we now have a designated county coroner office location, and it's in the RTA building. Also have been able to establish phone and email for the office for communication purposes to get in touch with the coroner's office. Since I took office, the records that were under the predecessor have been able to be transferred over. I was able to go through those. They came in banker boxes. We used the repurposed filing cabinets that we had gathered from other agencies that were no longer in use, and I'm able to start to file those out of the banker boxes so that we can have access to corner records for purposes of public records requests. So, since I started, we have brought on 2 interim case investigators to work. They're highly qualified. They came from a neighboring county. They're helping to do the work of the office and responding to cases and going onto the scenes. We have a call schedule now established. Those are established with the dispatches of the various law enforcement agencies so that the coroner's office is needed. We're able to respond to those investigations. I know that this body has approved of the contract with Lucas County Coroner's Office for the purpose of autopsies and toxicologies. I appreciate that. Thank you. That was in existence before. It was set to expire at the end of the calendar year last year before I took office, and so we've been able to continue those services for autopsy and toxicology, and been able to get transport contract services to get the decedent's body from Seneca County to Lucas County Coroner's Office as well. So, since I took over, had a meeting with law enforcement, Sheriff, Tiffin PD, Story PD, as well as my office and the investigators, kind of establishing scene and workflow. And so that was being able to have done. I appreciate the Seneca County Sheriff's Office for working with my office on getting ID badges. In the past, there was concerns about anyone responding from the coroner's office and not having proper identification, so we've been able to work with the Sheriff's Department to get ID badges, photo IDs made up for my office. Supplies and equipment have been established for the office. Appreciate Julie Atkins, and I want to give a thank you to the auditor for helping to repurpose and reuse some supplies that were left over from regional planning. So I've been able to repurpose and reuse those for my office as it got established up. Had meetings with the Seneca County Recovery Task Force, Tiffin Mercy Hospital, which has the temporary morgue, EMA, and was able to work with the Advertiser Tribune in trying to establish a working relationship with the press for purposes of getting information out from the coroner's office to the public. I did go spend the day with the Lucas County Coroner's Office, was up there for autopsies, 2 of the autopsies that my office is now sent up there for review, was able to be present on those, get a better understanding of their internal working relationships with them, and work with them for the day. I can give a report. Since I took office on the 6th, we've had 7 coroner cases that my office has responded to, 3 of which have been sent off for autopsy, 1 has been sent off for identification. And we've had 6 non-coroner cases. What I call non-coroner cases, my office might respond or take the call, the office might be notified, but we were able to identify that there was a primary care, it was a natural cause of death, and we're able to connect with the primary care physician to have signed the death certificate. So my office didn't take over custody to sign the death certificate. Let's see. Some of the things administrative-wise that needed work that were not in existence were call sheets for the purpose of responding to the calls to the coroner's office, so those have been established. Chain of custody forms, which did not exist before I arrived, for the body. So if we transfer a body from the coroner's office to transport or to a funeral home, that chain of custody form needs to be there. Was able to work with other county coroners around the state and get template designs of that adopted for Seneca County, and that's been sent off to be printed. So we have chain of custody forms for the body and valuables or whatever might be on the person when they die, so that we can get that off either to the funeral home, to the next of kin, whoever it may be.
So I guess just
Yeah.
a little backstop, how was it done previously if we didn't have?
I do not know.
You must, other counties have the chain of custody form?
Correct. Best practices would be to have a chain of custody. So if my office was to have a decedent and we were going to send to Lucas County, we'd have transport come. I'm releasing the body, or the county coroner's office is releasing the body to the transport, who's then going to deliver it to Lucas County. You want to have whoever it is in the transport, the individual and the agency that they are transporting it, sign a chain of custody over. So we take the decedent, we put it in a body bag, we tie it with a serial number zip tie. We would write that information down. The transport person would take that body to its destination. They'd get a copy of that chain of custody. Chain of custody copy would go into the decedent's file. And then you have that continuity, if you will. So then when Lucas County receives it, they have their own process for chain of custody of taking it then from transport and inventorying into their facility. Best practices, you want to have that. It did not exist, to my knowledge, before, so I've been able to work to get that established. Um,
And also, I hear you say like it also, if they had jewelry
Yeah.
on, that would be part of that also then, right?
Correct, so it's a separate, like an inventory custody form, if you will, so if they had a phone, wallet, money, we established, so we have witnesses, we would take inventory of what was on the person or the decedent at the time, and then we have a custody thing, so if we're able to identify next to kin, we can transfer that off, and, you know, here's the valuables from the decedent into the next to kin, or to the funeral home, if we're sending the decedent to a funeral home, and then they can work from there to get it to the family, so. But able to get those established. Worked with the Seneca County General Health District Narcan kits for myself and case investigators. There are times we have to respond to potential overdose or acute toxicity scenes, and there's risk of exposure or secondary exposure in those scenes. So thanks to the Health District and Harold Huffman for working to get us connected up with those supplies. We have those to carry on our person. I appreciate the Seneca County Commissioners for helping to get this county now established with OSCA and joining that as a member. So this county is now a member of the Ohio State Coroners Association. The Ohio State Coroner Association is kind of a networking ability for the county coroners around the state to start working collaboratively. It's because of it that I've been able to help establish connections for the purposes of getting chain of custody template forms or position descriptions, that sort of thing, to start adapting and working for our county. And one of the things that they were able to connect me with, and I was able to get Seneca County established, was grant funding by the Ohio Department of Health, both federal and state level funding for toxicology reimbursement. One of the things that was brought up by law enforcement based on the predecessor was not ordering toxicology in cases where law enforcement might have wanted toxicology ordered on a decedent, and they would like to have seen that ordered. And there are times where that's appropriate. It turns out that there is funding available by the state and the federal government to help reimburse and offset those costs. Seneca County was one of 6 counties in the state, so 88 counties were one of 6, that was not participating in that program. So I was able to, through the Ohio State Coroners Association, make connection with the Ohio Department of Health, get the forms, connect with the proper individual, and get us enrolled so that we can start getting reimbursement for toxicology that might be ordered from the coroner's office. And I believe we should start to see that come in. They're usually behind as far as when they audit the records. So the first part of 2024, that payment should be coming.
Yeah.
So it helps to offset some of the costs there.
So it will go back into 24 then?
Yeah, so they're going back to like the Q1. They usually do it in batches, either quarterly or 6 months at a time. They'll go back, look at it. If there was toxicology that was ordered, then they'll establish the reimbursement protocol and then work to get the reimbursement to the counties. And my understanding is they've, like Q1 of 2024, they have that data that they've been able to pull. So then the county will get payout back from
But I
that.
was surprised, I thought, since we've never done it before, I thought it would just start at 25, move forward, so
Yeah.
that's, okay, so we can go back at least. okay,
Back
good.
to start at least 2024, moving forward, and start getting reimbursed for any toxicology.
Membership
Yeah.
kind of thing, you know.
Yeah,
Figuratively.
and the dollar amount is like $196,000, but that's over all counties, so I guess however they do that formula to get it back to,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
awesome.
the counties,
I
so.
mean, even if you get a 25, 30, anything's better than
Correct.
the goose egg, so yeah.
So
Right.
I asked you this before, but are you the one that decides to order the toxicology report?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
do you decide right then, or can you decide 12 hours later?
And it's usually based on the circumstance of the death. So I
Yeah.
can decide, as long as the coroner's office has custody of the body of the
I see.
decedent, we can make a decision. So sometimes we may be still working on a scene and coming up, the body may be temporarily held in the morgue until we get more data, at which time if it's presented like this may be an acute toxicity or an overdose, then we can initiate the process of getting the
Okay.
toxicity labs
Thanks.
ordered.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, I am kind of excited. We do have, part of the, from day one when I came in, was to work to get designated Seneca County case investigators. I do have an individual that is looking to start the beginning of February. They come with a background in forensic master's level degree education. So we're going to start working with them, with the interim case investigators that I have that are well seasoned, and get that individual up to speed. So we've already got at least one individual for Seneca County that would be designated solely for our county. So that's exciting. And I know in the past, this county, the coroner's office did not complete some of the required public records training from the auditor of state. Those have now been done. I completed those.
Thank you.
Yes,
good.
those are done, submitted
Our
to.
auditor walked in at the right time.
Yeah, those are done, submitted to the auditor. That's taken care of, so that should not be an issue from this office moving forward. So, all
Good job.
right.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions? I know it's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I just say thanks for the commitment to the details. That's probably a really good thing.
Yeah.
Appreciate you taking time to update us. I know you've really working hard to get things, the way you want them. It sounds like you're well on your way.
I hit the ground running and been moving very quickly. It's starting to solidify. We start to get structure here, which is one of the things. Policies and procedures are kind of next on my to-do list to get some policies and procedures established for the office. I have some joint training with law enforcement and the coroner's office case investigators that's kind of in the preliminary stages, so working collaboratively to do some joint training on medical legal death scene investigation work. So kind of work to continue to collaborate there. So
Great. You need anything? You good? All right,
thank
well,
you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for giving up.
Thanks.
Can I just comment, it's been a pleasure to work with him. And I do want to thank the Regional Planning Board, has been very generous, and I believe we've got you pretty much established as a functioning office.
Correct.
Through those items, so, but again, pleasure to work with you.
Likewise, thank you. And I do want to give a sincere thank you to Barb Patterson, who's been very helpful and instrumental in helping to connect and get a lot of the things here early on established and underway. So tremendous thanks to her.
Well, again, I appreciate, same sentiment as Julie, the communication has been wonderful. I ask a question and I have an answer within a couple of hours or the next day. It's night and day, so I do truly appreciate that too, so.
Let's get a picture with you first, 20 days and hammer down.
We absolutely do that.
Back up.
Bob, you gotta get in here. No,
Right, yeah, exactly.
You're gonna get hurt in one of these pictures. Come on, Barb.
I don't need to be in the picture, thanks.
Steady, look this way, smile.
Just go, sorry.
Thank you. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks very much.
Boy, Tom, thanks. Getting better, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, good things. That's great. Okay, you can take off. You good? Okay. At this time, is there anything else we want to do before we go into commissioner reports? We'll
No.
wait till we get.
Yeah, we'll wait till,
Okay. Commissioner reports, Mr. Frank?
Yeah, I'll start. Tuesday had the Transportation Improvement District meeting. It was a long, excruciating 5-minute meeting, so we know what Chairman Zimmerman, when he runs a meeting, is pretty efficient, so.
The TID.
Yep, the TID, yep, you bet, so, no, but did good, just,
That was good.
yeah, very good, on that, so, and then right after that, we had Budget Commission, and a lot of the township stuff, had to get their, stuff in, and, so they had a special meeting to kind of get all them signed, all their budget stuff approved with that. Tuesday afternoon, went over to the ABR, the Architectural Board of Review for Tiffin, submitted for the wall on the prosecutor's building, stuff with that, through the process, and so they did approve, working with Matt Watson, when they do the Court Street project, to be able to incorporate the wall part with that too, as part of that project, so.
Good.
I'll thank them for, taking time reviewing it, and looks like there was a
Good job.
couple groups ahead of us that looks like there's gonna be some movement downtown on some projects and stuff too, so, looks like there's,
Nice.
gonna, continue to beautify downtown and stuff with it, so it was good, so. First time experiencing that, so it was, definitely interesting, so. That's, brings us up to today.
Good.
Okay.
Commissioner Bustecker.
last Friday, I went out to the youth center with Ed, our maintenance guy. I got a chance to meet a few of the people out there. Brewer Garrett was out there. We've kind of been doing some stuff, looking at some tweaking stuff with the heating systems and stuff. And I thought it'd be good for me to get out to be involved and know what's going on. And I sat in on the TID meeting with Bill and Julie as well, and Budget Commission, and then met up with Kathy and Steve at JFS. Got to talk a little bit about what all goes on out there, and then ended up going out there to the facility and met up with Kathy and met a few of the other staff, and
Good.
you know, hadn't been out there before. So
That's great.
maybe it was a short week.
Yeah,
Had Monday
right,
off,
Monday.
so it was the main thing.
Real short week for me.
Yeah.
I just got back this morning, so I really have nothing to add. Anything else? You guys good?
Yeah.
We'll go over to Barb. Commissioner.
I would just like to say a little bit of appreciation to our maintenance department with the recent cold snap and making sure the buildings have heat, monitoring temperatures in buildings, been getting updates on that information. We've had a couple of snafus, but maintenance has been able to take care of it, and we're making progress there, so they're doing great.
Then you'll know.
I'm sorry?
Wait till it thaws out.
Yeah,
then you'll know that's what's
so, you know, maybe this weekend we might have a few other issues, but they've been good with, you know, keeping on top of that with the cold weather that we've had. I just want to say that they're doing a great job. Also been working on a couple public records requests, just things that just need to be found and sent out. Budgets that have been requested for certain departments, and then I had a request for some information on the most recent road vacation out in Eden Township. I've had a couple of things there. I am continuing to follow and monitor the progress of our energy savings project. We've got a couple meetings scheduled next week to discuss the project and where we are, what's left to do, things like that. And then also, you've all been given the draft of the communication policy. I would ask that you please review that, give me any feedback, and I'll make corrections, and we'll get that policy put in place as soon as I have that all approved from you guys. Also got an email this morning from Bob Kurtz. He is no longer with Safe Built. He has taken a new position. The gentleman that's replacing him is William DeFauci, I believe is how you say his name. Bill said that he's worked with him for over 20 years, so we shouldn't have any issues, but.
Can you get us his?
I will get his
Send it to us or
contact
something.
information.
Yeah.
This was just an email.
Just to have it.
But Ashley will still be taking the permits over at the Board of, the office that's in the Board of Health building. So she's still coming on Tuesday afternoons, picking up the mail over there, processing any of the checks. So she's kind of the front-facing person for Safe Built at this point. But just wanted to bring that to your attention, so.
So just refresher on a process, so they submit the check, the application to Safe Built, and then they, you know, scrape off whatever their fees are, and then they, how does that, or they?
So we get all of the money, gets all deposited within the county, and then we get a bill from Safe Built for their, I believe it's 2 or 3%, I can't remember what the percentage is.
So basically it's made out to the county.
Yeah.
We deposit and then.
Yep, and then they bill us, and then there's a quarterly payment that we have to then pay to the state.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
I believe that's the entire process there, so.
Yeah. The builder,
Yeah.
the builder, the owner pays, two people get paid, Safe Built and us.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
right. So,
So,
good.
that's all I have to report, so.
Okay, good job. Just on the buildings, this is back to our energy initiative. So the commissioners entered into a contract with Brewer Garrett, primary 2 buildings. There are more than
one or more than two, but was to focus on the youth center and the jail. We're working on that. It's now cold, so they're tweaking things, and we haven't really completed it yet, so I think we have good communication. We're working on it, it's fluid. Till you battle test it and go through a winter and adjust everything, it's really sensitive.
Yeah.
And so I concur, I mean, I appreciate all the updates and everything we're doing there.
Well, and some of the facilities, I mean, they're 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
That's a whole,
Yeah,
it's
and
hard,
you're in
you
a
know.
little
you're-
cell that's concrete and it's cold and, it's just hard to get everything tweaked, but they're,
Yeah, they're really
I
good.
like how we're approaching it,
Mm.
yeah. Anything else?
That's all I
Old
have.
business? Anybody want to bring anything up? If not, we can jump into new business.
Okay. Have a few supplemental appropriations. For general fund, I have travel in the amount of $4,000 for the auditor's office. I have also for general fund, a reduction of salaries, Medicare and OPERS salaries in the amount of $27,461.50. Medicare reduction of $398.19, and OPERS a reduction of $3,844.61. These are for the prosecutor's office. They had some staffing changes at the end of the year. And they're going to pay for some of these funds. Some of these items will also be paid out of other funds that the prosecutor's office has, such as DTAC. So they are actually giving that money back to the commissioner's office. Then I have dependent care spending fund claims paid of $15,000, and also out of that same fund, administrative fees of $860. Again, these were things that were missed on the 25 budget. We have a few that I, for some reason, just keep getting missed on when we did the 25 budget. So adding those in, and then the general special projects fund contract services of $1,200. I believe this is to pay mental health and recovery services for some grant reporting.
I move to accept the supplemental appropriations.
A second?
Any discussion on this? Okay,
Commissioner Bustecker,
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
yes.
Okay. Move on
Good.
to resolutions.
Resolutions.
Resolution authorizing the fund transfer to be made to pay loan fund, the loan repayment fund. This is a $50,000 transfer.
Make the motion.
Second?
Okay, help me out on this one.
I believe this is to pay the North Central
That payment. Yeah, the-
Educational Services
Yeah.
Center.
We're,
I believe.
can you tell us, look up for sure how long we have to go? We're less
We're
than
at
2
the end.
years.
We're at the end. I think it's
That's
either
what I
this
thought.
year or next year. I can't
Yeah.
remember, but I can
you-
look it up.
Can you look
Mhm.
that up,
Mhm.
just to let us know?
Yep.
That was, I think it was a $500,000 interest-free loan, and we're right at the end. We did have that because we talked about it as we made all these decisions, but I just drew a blank.
Yes.
We can get Commissioner Bustecker updated with that and refresh our memories. That'd be great. Okay, so we have a first and a second. Roll call?
Commissioner Bustecker,
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Resolution appointing Jacob Elker as a county prevention specialist to the Northwest Ohio Regional Prevention Council.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay?
Commissioner Bustecker,
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes?
Last resolution I have is authorizing the extension of the 2024 contract with the Lucas County Board of Commissioners for the Lucas County Coroner to perform certain necessary autopsies and toxicology reports. This is just an extension through the end of February for the 24 rates, I believe.
So moved.
Right.
Second?
Okay, you want to add anything?
We're good?
No, the rates are staying the same through the end of February, and then there is a proposal to adopt a new evergreen contract thing, and that'll get sent to this body when that gets presented.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would say, I think it was last week or the week before that we actually passed the 25 contract,
Yeah.
so there'll probably be an addendum to that after.
I see. I got it.
So that's kind of the
Good.
issue
Any
there.
questions?
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Franker?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Anything else?
I don't have anything else, no.
We're good?
I do have one, kind of, I guess, that, if we take a moment of silence, you know, Fred Wolfle passed away. And Fred's been, you know, Seneca County guy for a long time. He does a lot of stuff with 4-H. He, you know, announced horse shows, in Seneca, Dusty County, did a lot of stuff with youth. So if we just take a minute or two just for a moment of silence for all the dedication years that Fred's had with, kids and stuff, and working, you know, with people with horses and stuff on that.
Great.
So
Thank
I'd like to just take
you.
a minute or two for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, public comment. Anybody? Public comment, we good? We'll be out of here early. Next week?
Yep.
Same time?
Yep.
Okay.
Barb, I said that because when